Hello everyone, this is Shransh Prakash, and in this session, we're going to cover a couple of front-end topics. So the first question is, what is sockets? So sockets are nothing but web sockets, okay? And they are different than the normal HTTP and HTTPS. So let's start with HTTP and HTTPS, okay? So yeah, let's do it this way. So let's talk about HTTP, okay, or HTTPS, okay. So in this case, whenever we have to make the API call, okay, it will either start with HTTP colon and then the API path, or it will be HTTPS and then API forward slash path, okay. Now, in both of these cases, the request is initiated from the client, okay. So say if we have a client here, client will initiate the request to the server, okay, and then server will reply back with the response, okay. So client will initiate the request using any of these endpoints to the server. After receiving the request, server will do the queries or logic or whatever, and it will return back a response to the client. After this, the whole connection between the client and the server is ended, okay. So now there won't be any connection, okay. This is uh, terminated, okay. That means now say if the backend has any new data, it cannot send it to the client, because in HTTP or HTTPS, the request always has to initiate from the front end, okay. So taking some examples, if you have used Flipkart, Amazon, or if you're booked anything online, okay, you would have seen that you're on a particular page and you're filling up details, and by the time you submit it or you click buy now or final checkout button, you'd get a response back stating that the product is no longer available, or in case of booking a say a ticket online, would say that ticket is no longer available, okay. Or take example of Make My Trip or such examples, where you'd be shown a particular information about a flight, say the flight is for 4,000 rupees, but when you'll go ahead and select a particular seat, then you would be notified back the prices have increased, okay. So things are not real time there, okay. Only when you make the request back to the server, that is when the server has chance to update the client with the new data, okay. So that is how it happens in HTTP HTTPS. Repeating it again, client will initiate a request which will go to the server, and then server will respond back with all the updated data the server has to the client, okay. Now till server is not client is not making any request, okay, server might have the updated data now, okay, but client still does not have it, because I have not initiated any API call till now. Now, if I go ahead and make any API call again, now the server has a chance to update this client with the new information, okay. And the same process will happen again. After getting the response back, the connection will be terminated, okay. So in this much time, okay, when client was not making any API call, not requesting any data, server say it has the new updated data, it still cannot update the client, because there is no connection between the client and the server, okay. After some time, when client is again initiating a request, that is when a connection is established, and now server can go ahead and update the client, okay. So you can see this is where you have uh, old data in your client, okay. This is not real time, okay. So that is your HTTP and HTTPS, okay. Now, coming to our topic, which is WebSockets. Okay, so WebSockets, let's start again, follow the same structure. So in WebSockets, it will be either WS or WSS. Okay, and if you have to make a API request or whatever, In that case, you'd be using WS or WSS. Okay. For in case of secure connection, you'll use WSS, and in case of unsecured connection, you'll use WS. Okay. Now the difference in this case is that client will initiate the request. Okay. Server will get the request. Okay. Now server will return back the response. Okay. But after this connection is not going to end. Okay. Connection stays there. Okay. The connection is not going to stop. Okay. And now whenever server has a new data, updated data, it does not have to wait for the client to make the next request. As soon as server has a new data, server can just go ahead and push it. Okay. Okay. Server got the new data here. Server directly went ahead and made send that information to the client. Okay. So you see this here, this connection. Once this connection is established, it stays there. Okay. It's not terminated. It stays there. And now any party, either client or server, can exchange the data whenever they want. Okay. In this case, in HTTP and HTTPS, every time we need to have a data, we need to create this connection and reestablish this handshake. Okay. In our WebSockets, we would do that once. Okay. In the first case. And finally, once we have our connection ready, this is permanent. Okay. It's not going to terminate. Now, any party can exchange the data. When server has the new data, server will go ahead and send this directly to the client. And same goes the other way around. If client gets the new information from the user, say as per input responses and user interaction, client can just go ahead and push that information to the server directly. Okay. So in this model, okay, if you see in this model, now there is no weightage. Okay. Whoever has the new data, they will just push it to the next party. Okay. And that is why this is called the real-time connections. So all the chat applications that you see, or if you have gone through, say, what was that, 99 acres or such examples, there you would have seen that you'd be getting information that how many people are currently viewing this particular property, right? So those kind of details, they are done using WebSockets, okay, where you have real-time interactions. As soon as there is any change in any party on the front end side or in the back end side, it is exchanged to the next party. Okay, so that is what our sockets are. Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic. Our next topic is how to fetch data without using Axios or fetch call. Okay, so here one thing that we can do is we can use XML HTTP request. Okay, so this was there well before Axios, and fetch was there for the JavaScript. XML HTTP request. Okay, now this is how you create a very basic request using this XML HTTP request API. Now for this, you don't need to install any package. This is like part of the web APIs and all. Okay, so you can directly use this. So the way we do it is we create a new instance of XML HTTP request. Then in request.open, this is where we are creating a connection. Okay, all this here, what you see, this is not here. We are not making any call. We are just creating the connection. What I mean by that is I'm providing the information to our instance that I want to make a get call, and that get call is going to be for this particular endpoint. Okay, and then I do request.send. Okay, this is where we are making the API call. So it can happen that you can write this somewhere else. Okay, wherever you're going to write this. So basically, this is not where the API call will trigger. It will be triggered here. Okay, so just to know that. Now, what is this? So once you send this request, okay, you'll get an onload event. Okay, onload event is that you got something back. Okay. Now this can be error, this can be success scenario, and both and error scenario also. In both the cases, you'll have this event caught. Okay. Now here again, we are checking if the status is equal to 200. Then you can go ahead and write your logic, whatever you have. Otherwise, we will go for the error logic here. Okay. So that's the basic syntax of XML HTTP request. Okay. In this example, I'm using a JSON placeholder. So let me give you a example. So this is a basic React application. Uh, where is it? Task.js. Yeah, index.tsx. Yes. So here you can see in React based applications. So what I'm doing is on use effect. Don't go much into the React part. Okay, this is just to demonstrate. So in use effect, just I'm calling this method, and this method is doing nothing but the same thing that I just showed you. So here again, I'm creating the instance, then creating a connection, open with get and to JSON placeholder. Then I'm sending the connection. Once I get the response back, this will be triggered. I'm checking the status is 200. Then I'm setting my state. Otherwise, in case of error, I'm logging it. Okay, in this case. So this states is basically our users. And in our JSX, we are just iterating over these users and showing each and every user's name. Okay. So just to show you this example, how it is working. So here you can see this running. Okay. So let me show you. Yeah. Yeah. So again, don't go a lot into the code. So basically, you can see this API calls are getting called. Right now, it's getting recursive because I've not written the React code properly. But you can see the API calls are getting made, and those details are what I'm showing up here. Okay, the name of each and every user. Okay, so using this, you can go ahead and make the API calls. If you don't want to use Axios or Fetch, let's do this. Okay, I think that's it about the calls. Yep, thank you.